Let's go to business news now with Kim Savage. Hi, Kim.
Hi, sir.
Manufacturing activity, well, it's taken a bit of a plunge to the lowest level since 2012. Should we be worried about that?
Well, it's not necessarily good news. So this is the BNZ Business New Zealand Performance of Manufacturing Survey for May. And if we take a look at those figures for a moment, we did see a fall in May of 2.5 points to a measure of 50.2. So, of course, those are just numbers. What does that actually mean? A figure of 50 or above indicates expansion. So we're just heading towards that almost in decline mode, which is causing a little bit of concern among economists. Manufacturing, of course, makes up between 12 and 13% of the economy, so it's a reasonable chunk that we're talking about here, and the weakening in the sector doesn't really paint a particularly positive picture for growth here in New Zealand. If we break down the survey, you can look at different aspects of that manufacturing sector. So the production component of the survey, that was already in decline. We saw that already and continued. Employment going backwards as well, and new orders pretty much flat, and inventories building, so that the kind of stockpiles, I guess, are building up there. So we'll know a little bit more about how some of these factors are flowing through into the economy, how these numbers are affecting our economic growth going into next week. We'll get first quarter gross domestic product figures out on Thursday, which will tell us how the economy did in the first 3 months of the year, January through to March. And most economists' estimates or forecasts are that things have been a little bit downbeat, that things have slowed a little bit faster than maybe was expected. Some of those estimates ranging in the 0.6% to 0.4% range for that quarter growth, and in the sort of 2.2 to 2.6% annual growth for GDP. So we'll know more next Thursday how that first quarter of the year has gone, but it seems that economists are talking now about a second quarter growth slowing even further, possibly looking towards a pickup next year, but watch this space.
And Kim, the Chinese e-commerce giant, this is Alibaba, it wants to woo Kiwi businesses?
Well, there's wooing on both sides actually going on here. So Alibaba, and you know, if you didn't know much about it, is of course the major e-commerce, the major online marketplace over in China and in Asia, and it's actually expanded beyond that now. It's even involved in AI. It's kind of the Amazon, but sort of on an even larger scale. Basically, the world's largest retailer. And there's always a sense of, I don't know, is it pride perhaps, or something along those lines, when these sort of big global players kind of knock on our door and show a bit of interest in what business here in New Zealand is doing. So they're actually running an expo in New Zealand for the first time, and this is an opportunity for Kiwi entrepreneurs, businesses to showcase what they're offering, network with Chinese members of the Chinese community, also with people from Alibaba involved in merchandising, people who are buyers for Alibaba as well. So this is all happening in Auckland, and a good chance for businesses to really take a look at this. So Alibaba, in fact, has actually set up a wee a sort of local outfit here, I guess, with a country manager as well to run some New Zealand, try and get more New Zealand businesses onto its platforms. It's got a specific platform actually for global businesses trying to sell into China, and around 80% of the businesses on that platform have never sold into China before. So they're really trying to create a gateway for businesses internationally to get into that Chinese market, which of course has already proved lucrative for New Zealand businesses, and Alibaba is now trying to recruit more.
And Friday on the markets, how did that look?
Reasonably flat day. The NZX Top 50 index did finish slightly up, 11 points up, 0.1% roughly. That figure 10,235. And if we take a look at the currency, the New Zealand dollar trading at 65.3 US cents, 94.7 Australian, and 51.5 British pence.
Thanks, Kim. Kim Savage with our business wrap this Friday.